The Dred Scott versus Sandford court case traveled through many courts and had quite a few different outcomes. It was first filed in the St. Louis Circuit Court against Irene Emerson based on two Missouri statutes. One statute allowed any person of color to sue for wrongful enslavement. The other statute stated that any person taken to a free territory automatically became free and could not be re-enslaved upon returning to a slave state. Since Dred Scott and his wife Harriet had lived in both Illinois and Wisconsin, both free domains, they had a pretty strong argument. The trial began on June 30th, 1847, and the court ruled against them on a technicality, and the judge granted a retrial. The next time the Scotts went to trial in January 1850, they won their freedom. This time, Irene Emerson appealed the case to the Missouri Supreme Court, which combined Dred and Harriet's cases and reversed the lower court's decision in 1852, making Dred Scott and his family slaves again. In 1853, Scott filed a federal lawsuit with the United States Circuit Court for the District of Missouri. On May 15, 1854, the federal court heard Dred Scott versus Sandford and ruled against Scott, holding him and his family in slavery. In December 1854, Scott appealed his case to the United States Supreme Court. The trial began on February 11, 1856, and by this time, the case had gotten such national attention that Scott received support from powerful politicians and some high-profile attorneys. But on March 6, 1857, in a 7-2 decision, Scott lost his fight for freedom once again. The final majority opinion in the Dred Scott versus Sandford case was written by Chief Justice Roger Taney, who was the 5th Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, and in a twist of irony, would later swear in Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator, as President of the United States in 1861. Taney's opinion basically said that all people of African descent, free and enslaved, were not U.S. citizens and therefore had no right to sue in federal court. He also wrote that the Fifth Amendment protected slave owner rights because enslaved workers were their legal property. Taney's opinion also argued that the Missouri Compromise legislation passed to balance the power between slave and non-slave states was unconstitutional. So basically, Congress had no power to prevent the spread of slavery. I believe that there were a bunch of Dred Scott and Harriet Scotts out there. Because of this decision, many slaves living in free domains were essentially put into slavery all over again. This decision was also a precursor to the Civil War because abolitionists were so outraged that the North and South's divide over slavery grew and grew until it culminated in the secession of Southern states from the Union and the creation of the Confederate States of America.